Behaviors are caused by various factors in a person's life, including their neurology, their mental health, their medical issues, their trauma, their quality of life, and their cognitive skills. When one or more of these factors are in play, you're going to be more likely to engage in a challenging behavior. For example, if you're sick, then you are not going to feel very well, you might be more irritable, and then you might lash out to people supporting you. In most situations, having one of the factors in play also changes a person's cognitive skill abilities. So when we're stressed out and that makes us more irritable, it actually impacts a cognitive skill called emotional regulation. However, for some people, they struggle with cognitive skills even when there isn't a significant factor in play, such as being sick or having some kind of mental health issue. In other words, on a good day, they may not have the skills. This may be because their brains haven't finished developing yet, which happens between the ages of 23 and 25 for the most part, or because their brain developed in such a way where accessing these skills or developing these skills is hindered, and so having the skill when they need it may not always be an option. So far we've talked about the cognitive skill of emotional regulation. But unfortunately, even when we're talking about skills that don't seem to have anything to do with emotions, if you don't have the skill and you're expected to, it can lead to emotional regulation issues. Whenever someone is expected to use a skill that they don't have, such as holding their attention and problem solving for an hour of math homework, it's going to lead to behaviors that appear to be opposition, refusal, or giving up. It's easy and natural for us to interpret this behavior as being intentional. After all, they might be saying, "I don't want to do this, leave me alone," or "F off, you stupid asshole." This language seems intentional. But if the person had the skills that we're demanding of them and the skill of emotional regulation, they wouldn't be exploding at us right now. And that's where cognitive support comes in. Cognitive support starts with us. We begin to learn about cognitive skills and tasks by thinking about how our own brains work. You can find some of these skills and tasks in the free cognitive skills list in the description of this video. Learning how our brains work helps us to become familiar with all of the skills and think about how often the person that we're supporting is expected to use these same skills. When we know they struggle with a particular skill, we can think ahead and try to see if the person will need support in using it. If our child struggles with reading social cues and understanding how their behavior is coming across to others in social situations, which is skill number 23 on our cognitive skills list, and there is a playdate scheduled for later in the week, we can't expect our children to try harder and suddenly be able to pick up on these cues. We must then attempt to provide a cognitive support to help them be successful. And there are many things you can do. For example, you can have what we call a proactive conversation with your child and make a plan with them that whenever you give them a signal when they're playing with peers, they should just pause and assess what's going on and if they need to change their behavior. Perhaps they need to think about how much space they're giving other people or if what they're talking about is really appropriate. You can then practice this plan with them at home so they can get a sense for how it will work while it's actually happening in the moment. By practicing the plan with your child at home, this allows them to understand that whenever you give them the signal while they're actually playing with their friends, they're not in trouble. They just need to pause and assess the situation and allow themselves to think. This kind of a system can help prevent behaviors or just tough situations that occur when somebody can't assess in real time how they're impacting other people. And perhaps over time, using the system will help the person that you're supporting be able to do it better on their own. So, the process started with us understanding that being able to read social cues and appreciate how we're coming across to others while we interact with them isn't natural. It's a cognitive skill that needs to be developed and practiced. We then understand that our child struggles with this skill. We can then think ahead to a time when the skill will be required and we can respond with a cognitive support. In this case, a proactive conversation and plan to help our child intentionally stop and assess their own behavior. Whenever you use a support with the intention of enhancing a particular cognitive skill or avoiding a cognitive skill clash, you're using a cognitive support. The more you link your supports to cognitive skills, the easier this entire process will get. Organ Behavior Consultations videos are here to teach you about the cognitive skills and to provide you with practical suggestions. You can subscribe to our channel here on YouTube, like our page on Facebook, listen to the Cognitive Support podcast, or support us on Patreon each month for access to additional materials and trainings. Thanks for watching.